Hi, I'm Tom. This is Lucy, and this is Kitty Help Desk. So today, I just want to take a few moments to talk to you about nicknames that you might use with your cats. Most people give their cats one name at first, and it's usually just something that, particularly appeals to us, something that might refer to something that we like or whatever. But in some cases, those names become a little unwieldy to use in everyday life. They might have too many syllables, or they might be hard for a child to pronounce, or things like that. So you start abbreviating, and slowly you start chopping away at the name until the name becomes something more compact. In other cases, you might start expanding the name. Lucy has a lot of names. She knows Lucy the best because Lucy is what she's usually called, right, Lucy? She's very interested in her reward in my hand. Right, Lucy? If I put my hands here, now I get more attention from Lucy. But she's also known as Lucy Boo a lot of the time. Right, Lucy Boo? Thank you. And other names. Now, that's not the kind of name I want to talk to you about, because all of those are great. There's nothing wrong with having a million different names for your cats, even, endearing names, calling them cutie or baby or whatever you want to call them. Kiddo, I call her kiddo sometimes. But the names that are cause for concern are the names that we use when we might feel unhappy about our cats or something that they've done, and we call them by these names. Now, we may not even use these names to their faces, okay? This may be something that when you're talking to your partner or you're talking to a friend or something, you use this kind of derogatory name to refer to the cat, especially when the cat's been causing problems. Now, before we go any further down this path, let me just say very clearly, in most cases, cats have problems because of us. And if we can work on solving their problems, our problems go away. But what often happens is we focus on our problems first. And we often default as human beings to this idea of using force or control from outside to try to solve our problems. But it's really much better if you can work to help solve your cat's problems, as opposed to thinking of your own. Think of your cat's problems. If you can solve their problems for them, then your problems just miraculously disappear. It's funny how that happens. So it's important that you remain focused on the cat's problems and not your own as you proceed. Now, this name calling thing is something that we do as humans to create distance between ourselves and with maybe someone with whom we're displeased, someone that has done something that we don't like, okay? But when you do that with your cat, unfortunately, you're successful. You do create distance, and you might even change your own attitudes about the cat moving forward. You've made some assumptions when you start doing this sort of thing. You've made the assumptions that the cat is actively trying to create problems. That's really never the case. Cats' behaviors come about as solutions to the problems that they perceive themselves as having. Now, we may not always perceive the problem at hand. In fact, a lot of what my work with clients entails is trying to identify the cat's problems so that I can refocus clients towards those problems and less on their own problems. If we're successful at that, then very frequently solving the cat's problem is relatively simple and straightforward, and then our problems disappear, like I said before. But if we use name calling or derogatory nicknames as a way to create distance between us and the cat, that distance is going to remain long after the problem's been resolved, because it becomes sort of a habit. As we start referring to them in this way, maybe to others, maybe it's a way to make ourselves feel elevated. That's something people do. Maybe it's a way to criticize in an offhanded way, a pet that maybe the partner prefers more than you do. Maybe it's a way to try to control interactions within your home. And a lot of things people do, and a lot of these things that we do, we're not always cognizant of why we're doing them. So I'm here today to try to tell you, please don't use this method as a way to make yourself feel better when you're having difficulty with a cat or or difficulty with a family member. Don't scapegoat the cat, okay? The cat is just behaving like a cat. Cats respond to the world in your home just like they would to a world out in the forest somewhere. Their wild instincts are intact, so those instincts govern how they view the world around them. And so if you can help them to solve their problems, help them to feel connected to you and your other family members, help them feel bonded to you, help them feel like you're not judging them and that they have choices every day within your home and within your relationship, then that's all going to be a positive impact on your life. And if you have an issue with a family member, it's much better to deal with that directly than to do it in a sideways way involving your cat. Because at the end of the day, that's not going to improve your relationship with your partner or your other family member. It's not going to improve anything. It's just going to make everything worse. So try to always be positive about your cats. Speak to them in loving and kind ways. And in the long run, that's going to pay off for everybody. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Bye.